Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Goldynaps and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about my natural hair journey, so if that's something you want to hear about, then stick around. Make sure to hit subscribe and click the like button and comment down below what else you want to see. So I've actually attempted to record this video several times now. And if you haven't watched a video like this before, it's basically just a way to showcase the process from a TWA to a fro, or the process of transitioning to then cutting your hair off to growing out your fro. And I used to watch videos like this before I big chopped, after I big chopped. It really is a source of inspiration to show that, if you're dedicated, if you're patient, if you're consistent, then your hair can grow. And I was recording my version of this video. I was showing the pictures and I was talking about how my hair is growing, and I just felt like it was lacking something. And I've watched the natural hair community grow from focusing mainly on the experiences of Black women to now including white people and Latinx people, and that's great. Everybody has their, own journey to accepting themselves how they are, accepting their hair. But I really do believe that the experience of going natural for Black women is distinct in the sense that straightening our hair is so closely tied to assimilation, or the attempt to look whiter, that cutting all your hair off and deciding to grow out your fro is almost a rejection of the sentiments of anti-Blackness that a lot of us were instituted with when we were younger. So learning to love my Blackness was such a huge part of my natural hair journey that I just felt like it wouldn't do this video any justice if I completely neglected that aspect of it and was just like, hey, look how much my hair grew. And I honestly don't think that experience of learning to love your Blackness is unique in any way, but it does not get talked about enough in videos like this. And yes, it's really important to show that Black hair can grow, but I think it's also really important to address the underlying issues of why do Black women have to learn to love their Blackness in the first place? Why are Black women straightening their hair for years and years and years and damaging their hair for years and years and years until they realize, hey, my fro is beautiful? Honestly, after recording this video several times, I just acknowledged that this was what was missing from the conversation when I decided to go natural. So it was only fitting for me to make a video that I thought that I needed when I was in that place in my life. So I decided to split this into two parts. The first part is going to be this one where I talk about my decision to go natural and how it's affected me, and I'll show pictures and all that kind of stuff. So this is going to be more focused on like self-love and that kind of thing. And then there will be a completely separate video about, the techniques that I use, the products that I use to help my hair grow from a TWA to bra strap length in 2 years. So yeah, I just thought I'd give that little intro disclaimer about how I feel about, this sort of thing. And yeah, okay, I'm done now. So when I was born, obviously my hair was natural. I don't think that I started straightening my hair consistently once a week until I was about 5. And then sometime between being 5 and 6 is when I first got a texturizer. And then shortly after that, to make my hair more manageable and, more professional looking, I guess, my mom decided that I would get a relaxer. And for those of you who don't know, I'm half Black and half white. My mom is African American and my dad is white. He grew up in London, but his parents are Russian and Israeli. And I grew up in very affluent white neighborhoods, and that definitely informed the way that I perceived myself. I was always in schools where I was one of 3 or 4 Black kids in my grade. And, me being the little naive kid that I was, having light skin and light eyes and light hair, I assumed that the only thing separating me from whiteness was my hair texture. I was like, wow, white people and I are literally identical if you straighten my hair. And honestly, it's crazy because it really took me experiencing racism firsthand to recognize that that entire conception was false. Everything about that thought was just wrong. Like, so I just want to briefly touch on an incident that I feel really informed the way that I viewed myself for a major part of my adolescence. Mainly because it wasn't just a microaggression, it was straight up racism for an extended period of time. And that really shifted the way that I viewed myself, and more specifically the way that I viewed my blackness. So when I was in like 9th grade, how old are you in 9th grade? 15? So when I was 15, there was this incident where this group of boys, 4 white boys, let's be specific here, hit me up on Facebook, and they were calling me an ugly, stupid monkey. Now let's put our thinking caps on. We all know that monkey is a racial slur. So me seeing this, I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna do nothing. So I was just like, okay, I mean, like, that sucks. They think I'm a monkey, but what am I to do? I was just like, I'll wait it out. Like, they're gonna get tired of this. They did not. The situation escalated from being online to being in person. They started, bringing me bananas at school and impersonating monkeys and doing this monkey dance whenever I was in their vicinity. And, it got to a point where I was like, shit, like, this can't keep going on. So, long story short, they got suspended. And then the incident was over for them. For me, someone who had grown up thinking like, hey, the only difference between me and white people is my hair, and I'm out here relaxing and straightening my hair, I was like, holy shit, my whole life is a lie. No, but all jokes aside, like, to be straight up serious, it just made me realize that, no matter how white I look or how fair I look, I'm still just going to be seen as black. Like, the fact that I can look like this and still get called a monkey is extremely telling of how people perceive blackness. And just a disclaimer here, I completely acknowledge the fact that I have light skin privilege compared to my darker skin counterparts. But something that I don't think people take into account is that when you are the darkest person in your environment, you start to embody all of the negative connotations that people associate with blackness. So given the fact that I was in an environment with basically only white people, I became the symbol of blackness. So yeah, now that we've discussed that really cool fun fact about me, I'm gonna just talk about, how all of that affected me. Like, that incident really made me hate my blackness, like, straight up. I was like, if I wasn't half black, I wouldn't be getting treated that way. And that's genuinely the way that I felt. And it took me such a long time to realize that, oh my God, this is so corny, but it took me a long time to realize that I was beautiful the way that I was. And it took me a long time to accept who I was after that. Like, I really internalized this idea that I was an ugly, stupid monkey because that's what I had been called, regardless of the fact that I was attempting to assimilate in every way that I could. So anyways, let's fast forward a little bit, because for the next few years of my life, I just thought I was ugly, so that's not really that interesting to talk about. But let's get to my senior year of high school. This was right before I went off to college. I had been really attached to straightening my hair to feel beautiful. But at this point, I had damaged it so much that I was basically bald in the back of my head. If you didn't know this, I have 3C hair in the front, 4A hair in the back, and the crown of my head, the hair texture is so fragile. I have to be so delicate with it. And obviously, slapping on just for me or whatnot for, 200 years straight takes its toll. So I was like bald, and I was like, girl, you need to do something about this. So I decided to get a little shortcut. So yeah, I went into college having my little short haircut, but I did not stop relaxing it. And obviously, like, when you first cut your hair off, it's healthy, but if you keep putting chemicals in it, you keep straightening it, it's gonna get damaged. So now I have, like a year into having my shortcut, I have short damaged hair. And then I'm like, wow, like, I'm be like literally completely bald. So that's really what got me looking into being natural. Straight up necessity. I was like, girl, you have no other choice than to chill out with the chemicals, or we're gonna have a problem. So what I did is I got box braids. I was like, oh, if I get braids, then that'll give my hair time to just, see if it's gonna grow. Like, I'll see if not putting chemicals in it and not straightening it really makes a difference. And of course it grew. So I was like, okay, bet. Like, I guess going natural is the move. Like, I'm gonna try this so that I can have some hair on my head. So I got box braids for a little bit. My hair really started to grow. And then it was like 2 separate textures, and it was also short, so it just looked really weird. And I was like, I'm gonna just cut off the ends and like start from a TWA, that's what I gotta do. So once I had cut it all off, I got box braids for a little bit, for a little longer, and then that's when I really started seeing a lot of growth. That's when I started to learn how to take care of my hair. I started deep conditioning regularly, and my hair just grew at a ridiculous rate. Like, there was so much growth in such a quick amount of time. It was crazy. I was like, oh my God, girl, like, you have hair? Like, who would have thought? Because when I was perming and straightening my hair, it never grew past shoulder length. Like, that, I was just like, oh, I guess this is it. Completely untrue. So anyways, I'll get more into the growth and all that in the next video. But this video was basically just to say that it really took me learning how to take care of my hair and watching it flourish from my own blood, sweat, and tears that made me, love it and helped me reject all of these negative feelings that I was harboring about myself for such a long time. And something else that I just want to hit on is the fact that I only received like backlash from members of my own family about growing out my hair. Like, my mom and my grandma literally cried when I cut off my hair, and they like cried again when I came back from school with like my little budding afro. And you know what? Like, I get it. In their generation, and even now, the way that I look is gonna cut me off from certain opportunities. But honestly, like, if somebody doesn't want to hire me because of how I look, I don't want to work there anyways. If I can't get a certain opportunity because of how I look, I don't want it. That's just how I feel, and I don't think that's going to change. But yeah, I mean, even now, my family members are like, whoa, your hair is like long now. Are you going to straighten it? Like, when are you going to straighten it? Like, do you want to straighten it? Do you want me to help you straighten it? Like, do you want me to help you find a stylist to straighten it? So anyways, the point of this video is just to say that I've grown out my hair now, and I could literally not imagine myself any other way at this point. And I've built this platform for myself, and I'm gonna talk about these issues because I would never want anybody to go through what I felt. I would never want anybody to hate themselves just because of who they are. So yeah, I think that's all I have for this video. It's ending on a very dry note, but yeah, I hope you guys liked it, and I will try to get the second part of this video uploaded sometime this week. I know that's what the majority of you wanted to see, like how I actually grew out my hair, but I just felt like I had to add this in there. So I hope that you appreciate it. Feel free to, add to the discussion below in the comments, subscribe to my channel, like this video if you like it. And yeah, thank you for watching my stuff. All right, I'm gonna stop talking. Like literally, like I have been talking way too much. Goodbye.